going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Money Moves with K. I am K, and today we're going to talk about how to find the owners of distressed or vacant properties. This is a step-by-step guide. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. All right, so if you're like me, you have perused the neighborhood and stumbled across a vacant lot or land, or you've come across a vacant or distressed property. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is nobody wants this home or land. The second thing that comes to mind is who owns this property, all right? So in this video, we're going to discuss how in the world do you find that person, okay, the owner, so that you can potentially negotiate a deal and get the property, right? And I've done this numerous of times. If you're new to the channel, I did wholesale real estate. We're military, so we were stationed in Germany, and I kind of discussed that on my channel as well. But I use this technique all of the time. It's not necessarily a technique. It's more so just how to find this information, okay? So the first place that you're going to start is Google. You're going to go to Google or whatever search engine you prefer. I use Google. So you go to Google and I put in the actual county that I'm interested in and the state, and then followed by property search. So in this particular example, I'm using Adams County, Ohio. I do not invest in Adams County, Ohio. I randomly picked it from a not a tax assessor, but it was a tax auction sale. By the way, this is 10 acres for $4,000 for sale. Just a side note. And check out my tax auction course or blueprint. It will be linked in the description and it will be pinned in the comments if you're interested in finding tax auction properties. But back to this. This is Adams County. So in Google, I put Adams County, Ohio property search. Okay. Whatever your county is, you place it here. You insert it there. All right. So Adams County property search, or Adams County, Ohio property search. After I hit enter, I come to the county's website. Alternatively, for that search portion, you can put Adams County, Ohio GIS. That will also pull it up as well, okay? GIS is basically where you search properties. You can have a parcel ID, you can have the address, or you can have the owner's name. In this particular instance, we don't know the owner name, okay? So we're trying to figure out who this person is, okay? This mysterious person in the neighborhood who has this property that, looks abandoned and I may want, all right? So let's check it out. So once you get to the front page of their website, you're going to kind of peruse. It will look differently for you. So it may not look like this, right? Because this is Adams County. Your county may be looking different or look different. I found, after poking around, I found that it was under property search and maps. I hit advanced search and this pulls up, okay? Now, as I mentioned earlier, you have different tabs, right? Search by owner name, search by location address, search by parcel number, search by legal description. You can find it by the legal description as well, but that's a little bit more difficult. I don't suggest that, okay? And intersection search, not sure what that is. You don't even need that in this particular example. The one thing I want you to identify is the address. So if you stumble across a property and you know the address, okay, you figured it out and you've kind of surmised that, hey, this is 2513, this is 2572, then this must be 25 whatever, right? You know the address. What you're going to do is put the address here. So I've already, like I said, I looked on the tax auction list and I found a property that was 10 acres for $4,000, which is a pretty good deal, right? Now, I will say this here. With tax assessors, you need to be very specific. In fact, even if you are specific, nothing might pop up, excuse me. So even if you are specific, there may be nothing that pops up. Why? Because tax assessors has their own way of how they track these properties and the address. So instead of putting lane, like my address, I've blurred it out, right? But this address is something lane. Instead of writing out the word LANE, which I did initially, tax assessors wanted it LN, the abbreviation for it. So there's no way for you to really know except for kind of playing around with the address, right? So what I did when it says, because literally I just copied and pasted the address into the search here for address and nothing popped up. It says no address results. I'm like, how nothing pop up? And that's the exact address, okay? Now there is a tab here that says exact address and you can click that. But it still didn't pop up for me, by the way, even when I put exact address, okay? So what you do is you go to the very back of it and just start deleting some of the exact address. And what I found is, boom, it eventually pulled up. Okay. So that is the address that I'm looking for. We're good to go. Once I push search, this pops up. All right. So it's a summary of the property information. This has the parcel number, as you can see here, the map number, location address. Let me go back to parcel number for a second. Parcel number basically is like a social security number for a home or a lot of land, right? So think of it like that. That's a very important number that you can find literally anything. But in this example, we're coming to it with only the address, which is why I only search for the address. So parcel number, map number, location, address, acres, as you can see, is 10. So I wasn't making that up. Legal description, it did ask for that in the search engine, but I didn't have the legal description. I only had the address, okay? Land use, very important, because that's a part of your zoning, and you do want to ensure, what the zoning is for any particular purpose that you have to use it for. Neighborhood, city. Now, every county may not have all this information, but this is nice that they do, okay? And I've blurred it out once again. Notes, okay? Here we go. This is where you want to be, all right? This is where you want to be, is this area right here. It says owners. It has plural, meaning two owners with the S, because there may be more than one owner. There could be multiple owners. Now, let me say this here. I've had too much experience not to mention this to you. I'm going to pass this experience on to you. If there are, sometimes the owners may be multiple owners, meaning husband and wife, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, everybody in the family may be listed on here. I've literally seen under owners it having 20 names or more. In the event that you find a property with a ton of names, my suggestion, or what I think, or what I've done in the past, I don't even pursue that particular property. Why not, Kay? I mean, what for? Why not? Well, the reason why I would not pursue properties with so many names, and I'll get to a husband and wife in just a second. The reason I would not pursue that type of property is because essentially, let's say it's an abandoned 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You reach out to the owner. Let's say you find one of the owners, right? Maybe there's 20 names and you find, oh, that's one owner. Here we go. Boom. And you find their phone number, their address, all of that, right? And the address is listed here too. The issue is now you have to go through kind of like a chain of command. You have to go through everybody to approve of the sale of that home. In my example, that's too many people. All you need is one no, and the deal is null and void. Okay. So if there are multiple owners, that's problematic for me. That's how I used to do it. Okay. Now, for a husband and wife situation, it can be tricky as well. If it's a marital state, then that means that that the spouse also has to agree and kind of go forth like that. How I typically target properties is I go for single owners. Okay. Why? Because I'm only talking to one person. That's just my preference. That doesn't mean I haven't wholesaled or purchased properties in the past that have had multiple owners. I have because I was very hungry for the deal. But I just learned over experience that it's just a lot easier if I'm just talking to one person. If you have so many people on the deed, then it just gets cloudy and all you need is one no to mess up your deal. All right. That's a side note. That's kind of like I'm passing you that experience. All right. Now let's get to the reason why you're here is, okay, what does this mean? So you have the owner's address right here. Now that's only one person. Like I said, ding, ding, ding. One person, it has her address. It's a lady. It has her address. Now, this is very important. Her address, right? The homeowner's address is different than the subject property. What am I saying, Kay? The 10 acres is located in Ohio as well, but it's in a different city. The homeowner lives in Ohio as well, but she's in a different city. Okay, so she lives in a different city than the 10 acres. Why is that a good thing for me? It's a triple whammy, right? She lives in a different area, which means that she's an absentee owner. Ding, ding, ding. She owes taxes in my particular situation. I found this property on a tax auction list. I know she owes $4,000. Ding, ding, ding. And it's 10 acres. Ding, ding, ding. I'm really looking for a lot of acreage, right? And the last thing I'm looking for is the fact that, maybe those absentee owner, she owes taxes and she does not live, well, I already said that, right? So those are at least two things that I'm looking for, all right? And if I think of the third one, I'll mention it. But those are little things that you're looking for when you search the tax assessors in order to find the owner of the property, okay? Now, you might say, Kay, what in the world do I do now? I mean, I have her address. What now? What is the next step? Well, I've actually done a whole entire video on the next step of how you can contact them. There are multiple ways to contact the owner. I'll link that video in the description so you can check it out. But I will say here that you have to be creative. One of the creative ways that I've gotten in the past is I've kind of did my research and I've identified some of the things that the owner likes. For example, I've sent out a postcard to the person's address and I figured out through my research, and do I discuss that on my last? I think I may discuss that a little bit on my last video that I did about this, but I found out that she likes cats. No, it was butterflies. The person liked butterflies. So what did I do? I went the extra mile and my postcard was actually a card I got from Walmart or the dollar store or something. Like, it was very cheap, but it had a butterfly on it, right? Or in the past, I've also figured out what the person liked and I've placed a stamp corresponding to what they like, right? So it could be dogs, it could be cats, it could be anything, right? Could be anything. My point is, it already kind of warms the person up and say, oh, who sent me this, right? This may be somebody that I actually know. For them to know that I like butterflies, that's very important, right? So I've just done a lot, I guess you can call it a Jedi mind trick, to try to get in the psyche of the owner to say, hey, I know you. And then when they open it up, they're like, I don't know this person. Who is this, right? So just keep that in mind, right? There are multiple ways to contact the person. And I've mentioned a little bit of those ways in my past video. So keep that in mind. And also check out that video that I did so that you can learn some other techniques and ways to actually reach out to the person and convince them to say, yes, I will sell it for however much money, all right? That's the end of my video. I thank you so much for sticking around to the very end of the video. If you made it this far in the video, in the comment section, put distressed property. It allows me to know you made it this far in the video. And if writing distressed property is too long for you to write, just put, let me see. This video is about find owner. Just put find owner in the comment section as well. And I'll also know, maybe that's long as well. But if you rock with me, you'll do it. And I appreciate your viewership. Until next time, guys, you stay blessed. Oh, make sure you check out the tax auction course or blueprint. It's in the comment section. It's also pinned in the comments as well. In the description and in the comments. That's my time. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys, you stay blessed. Peace.